Welcome back and welcome to another edition of everyone's favorite Wednesday Weekly, Swim or Sink. And we're now at number 102. I am Nito, joined by my co-commentator, Pat. Pat, how are you doing?
I am doing great, and I can't wait to watch these teams play it and get the win.
Absolutely, that's what we're here for, watching two amazing teams play it out and see how they're going to make it out of pools. And first up, we've got Sheer Cold and Inkblot Dropouts. So what I'm seeing here is two polar opposites almost. Sheer Cold coming off of a low ink appearance, and they also showed up in, I believe, another tournament. I don't remember, can't recall which one specifically, but last week they were actually fourth in, I believe, is either main go or lantern bracket. And on the other side, you've got Inkblot Dropouts. I don't believe I've seen them since low ink September, or maybe from the ink up. I don't remember which one though.
Well, we'll see which of these teams have gotten the best and is ready to get in that SOS action.
Absolutely. I think both of these teams equally skilled and skilled in their own rights as well, but it's going to be a great opener for sure as we head into what's going to be game 1 Clan Blitz on Mako Mart, one of the shorter maps in the game, and with the addition of Clan Blitz, we can expect to see some more exciting action.
Yeah, Macromat, it's like if you want to get a push in there, you really need not wipe, otherwise the other team is going to get a bigger push from that. That's pretty much guaranteed. So like, keep yourself alive. The map is so small, everything can snowball so fast. Kind of a hard way to start the tournament, I guess.
It certainly is a wake-up call, and it's certainly going to be a warm-up for most of these teams, actually, since, of course, everyone's going to be getting the same game 1. But, like you said, this is a very snowbally map. Once you start losing a few players, you either back up or you're going to risk it all and see what you can get, especially with the ledges here. Mako Mart, I believe, is well known for having those ledges where you can never be too cautious.
I mean, you love to see a map with ledges, with flanks, with everything. That's what makes it one of the best maps in this game, too.
Like, it was one of the best maps in Splatoon 2, I think, and it's gonna stay a classic in this game.
I also believe what makes Mako Mart great is some of its specials on the cereal, especially after a turf war match. I am able to get a box for about $2. It's cheaper than Walmart, so I think Mako Mart's good for that as well.
And I guess our team are getting ready, still choosing their weapons. The map list was very in advance. Guys, you should know what you want to pick.
Right, like, we should... You gotta have it down in writing, just be like... Okay, so, game 1, let's see, we're gonna pull out all big swing. Game 2, Splat Zone Tacklefish. What do we want? What do you guys play? How about Charger main? Okay, quad big swing. Tower control, you'll tell Alley. Do you guys prefer Charger or Splatlinks here? Okay, quad big swing.
I see kind of a pattern in the way you make your comps.
Yeah, I'm just choosing to use a bit of paint. That's mainly it. But as I say that, we've got our action ready up. It's gonna be game 1, Clan Blitz on Mako Mart. Inkblot Dropouts in the light blue and Sheer Cold in the orange. And we see that Splatana Wiper coming out. I think that's that's an Albedo signature there. Inkblot Dropouts opting for a very aggressive lineup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and both teams are there, and you see the 96 ready. This has been such a terror for Clan Blitz. Guys, you need to kill the Kraken before it happens. That's it.
I mean, I remember back in Splatoon 1, one of my favorite things to do, jumping over the Kraken. It sometimes worked, and there it is. Look at that, Pat. You called it right there.
Yeah,
Going
got
straight
it.
for the Kraken before it gets any more damage.
And that should be a first opening for...
Sorry. For sheer cold, yes. Thank you.
There we go. Yeah. All right. It is a lot of action going on right now as Sheer Cold gets the lead, so I understand that little mix-up there. But not to worry though, Sheer Cold seems to be keeping that push going, keeping it well maintained, going up to 44 remaining. Albedo's looking to score a few more clams on the board. Inkblot Dropouts going for the flank, trying to take out some of their offense there. And does a great job. Albedo, though, holding their own until a bomb comes into their peripheral vision, taking them out immediately. But it's still a really big lead to surmount here.
And that's how you do a first push with 11 points left to score, but a 44 penalty. Sheer Cold, they are here to battle, and Inkblot Dropouts, they have a long way to go if they want to get back in.
Yeah, I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, Inkblot Dropouts, this is their first competitive showing in quite a while, so they haven't been playing as much, or at least as much in terms of tournaments, so they're still trying to get back into the swing of things, getting themselves into the game once again as they actually get some power clams in, able to get themselves up to 77 remaining. Not enough to cause that much concern for Sheer Cold, but still a great way to get yourself back into running and get some points on the board.
And right now, Sheer Cold are they are all going towards the enemy basket. Basket getting open again, and it's gonna be more and more points. That penalty is not gonna last for long, I guess.
Right, the thing about Sheer Cold is what's doing right now is that they're coordinating most of their specials. In fact, Twig is able to come out with the Kraken as soon as they spot Inkblot Dropouts opting for some sort of defensive push there. They try to stack a few players on the right side, and in response, Twig pulls out the Kraken and tries to cause a stir in that sort of defense.
And right now, Dropout, they are struggling just to get one stack, to get back, to get out of this basket area and take some control of the map. Sheer Cold, they look so strong in this first game.
Absolutely, and yes, you say that, Pat, they go, Inkblot Dropouts goes 2 down, but they are able to respond with a pick of their own. They go 3 down now, and they're still trying to take out a few players with Sheer Cold. Micah, they're hanging on tight, trying to get a few picks on the board. Does get one, might get another here if they can try to get that pick. And here comes Buzzy actually with the ink brush, trying to get an assist there, trying to go for the alley-oop. The Drive Slosher going for another assist. Can you believe it? It's almost starting to look like a fighting game here with the amount of assists that are just coming off the sides.
We get trades after trade. No team is really getting control of it right now. Everybody is busy getting assists.
Right, and you see Sheer Cold, and it's actually starting to be a bit of a neutral battle here for both teams. Inkblot Dropouts, the Tri-Slosher trying to run away from the Kraken. That's something it's just not as safe as you would like to be. But with the Kraken, you really can't find a good enough escape before it catches you too late. Twig now on the right stack, getting a few picks on the board, trying to get Sheer Cold, making sure they can lock in this win. And already looks locked in with the 11 remaining, and they get the power clam in with 20 seconds left on the clock. And this just might be it, as they need one clam to score, and that will be game 1 in the favor of Sheer Cold.
Commenting game 1 for Sheer Cold, and you said Inkblot Dropout, this was their first tournament in a while. Well, welcome back. Good luck.
And I mean, you couldn't choose a better warm-up. With Sheer Cold, I mean, like you mentioned earlier in the stream, Clam Blitz on Mako Mart, one heck of a way to warm up, but even then, with Sheer Cold, it's been a fairly competitive team, especially in low level. I believe they showed up in last weekend's low ink. I don't remember how they did exactly, but they're still up in the scene. They're making their rounds, and I believe they're on the rise here. So you really can't choose a better team to get yourself back into the mix as we head into Game 2. Black Zones on Hagglefish Market, one of the most narrow maps possibly in the world.
Very narrow map, but very well-known map by every team, and if there's a map to stabilize things, get your bearing, that's a good map for Inkblot Dropouts to really wake up and bring the fight to sheer cold.
Right, and especially with the fact that they have that ink brush at their disposal, there's a lot of opportunities for flanks, especially from Inkblot Dropouts. Once you get that ink brush into the enemy territory, and just with how fast it's able to move, you really can't go wrong with such a pick here. But with Splat Zones, you have to prioritize painting. Luckily, what I saw from Inkblot Dropouts' comp, I think they have more than enough to get them through this game.
Yes, and we'll see what both teams will be able to do on this. Is this best of 3 or play of 3, by the way?
And this is going to be a play all 3, so every game's gonna count here.
Ooh.
Yeah, when you gotta play all 3, you have to make sure you're giving it your all in all 3 of the games, because even a loss in set 1 of pools can make or break your standings in the pool, and it's going to determine how you end up at the end of pools.
Yes, for sure. These tiebreakers, they always happen, and you have to be ready for them. Every game counts and can decide in what pool, in what bracket you'll make.
Yeah, all of my Lowing fans are going to recognize the opponent win percentage tiebreaker. Some of my favorites as we head into Game 2. Black Zones on Hagglefish Market. And we're going to have Inkblot Dropouts in the purple, magenta-ish, and Sheer Cold in the green.
Sheer Cold deciding to stay with a 96, even if it's zones. Meanwhile, Inkblot Dropout, they have the Tetra Julies ready to create some aggressivity and maybe answer to that wiper that we have seen on the side of Sheer Cold.
And what I noticed is that they're actually pulling out a Nautilus, so they're going to keep with the aggressive comp that they've had earlier. They want to continue to apply that sort of pressure for Sheer Cold, as they're doing right now. Even though they've got one player down, they're still trying to get some picks on the board. They do get one with the Jet Squelcher down. 2 people going for a flank now. One gets one with this wiper, gets 3 down, and this might be the zone for him. As they capture his zone, one player from Sheer Cold is forced to jump out, and this could be the one where Inkblot Dropouts turns it around.
Yeah, great opening by Inkblot Dropouts. They left the zone green a bit for a while, but now they are in full control and they could make a lot of points from it. But the Crackton just fell, Nito.
Right, and you actually saw the crab there staying alive for just a bit, and I believe they're trying to change specials there to try to keep some defensive capabilities going, but it's gonna all come to nothing as Sheer Cold responds with a well-timed Kraken of their own as they try to get around the other side, taking out a few players as well. Sheer Cold and Inkblot Dropouts trading a pick from both teams. Actually, Inkblot Dropouts going 2 down, and Sheer Cold's now going to start going 1 down. Oh, this is going to be a good fight here.
Well, but Sheer Cold stays in control of the zone, and right now they have no penalty. They are 20 points away from winning this round and getting the KO.
Yeah, and as you say that, Killar is going to try to get the picks there. He isn't quite able to get it to get 2v1. Sheer Cold is going to take Game 2 in a very commanding fashion.
That was so fast. These Tetras got such a great opening, and the aggressivity was working for Inkblot Dropouts for some time, and then Sheer Cold just progressively getting back control of the zone and then just keeping it.
Once the lockout was there, it was it. But this is not over. Inkblot Dropout can still get a game off of sheer cold on Hilltail Alley.
Right, and you saw glimpses of potential there, especially in Game 2. Like you mentioned, the flank at the beginning was very effective in mixing up a lot in sheer cold. They actually caught I believe they caught the Jet Squelcher and the Wiper by surprise with that double flank. But you can't help but notice that sheer cold was able to just time their specials a bit more effectively. You notice Inkblot Dropouts trying to daisy chain them, making sure they still had one to go and still had an option for them. But sheer cold knows when to use that Kraken. Once they get every member of Inkblot Dropouts into one little grouped up spot, once they pop out that Kraken, that's going to seem to be the signature for them this match, and that just might be it actually is what's causing Inkblot Dropouts a bit of trouble.
Yeah, for sure, that coordination is really good for for sheer cold, and once you have control, like establishing that control, if you can chain your special after special after special, the enemy can never really push up, and you can keep the zone as long as you want, and that's pretty much what we saw with Inkblot Dropouts really trying to get in despite that with the Reef Slider, but that was too little too late.
Right, and I like the idea they had going for them that one game, especially with the comps that they used. They actually brought out a Nautilus, which gives them a bit more stability once you have that anchor to sort of back you up in a fight. So I do believe that they are heading in the right direction here, and I believe now with Game 3 being tower control, this might be the one where Inkblot Dropouts is able to get their footing. Once with a map like Hilltail, you actually do still have a few opportunities for a flank, especially with the slick spots there. That might be another opportunity to bring out the Tetras or the Ink Brush.
Yes, and we hope to see that aggressivity again, but we will know very soon what kind of comp they will bring to tower control. Monsieur Heavy.
Oh, knee leaders coming out as well. Sheer Cold in the purple, going for most similar comp. I believe they're just going with if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Inkblot Dropouts though in the yellow. They actually got out a pretty shooter. I wouldn't say shooter heavy comp, almost a meta heavy comp. They brought out the machine and the splash, and actually brought out a heavy splatling. I am one to admit I believe heavy splatling is just a bit underrated, especially with the wave breaker. And so that might come into play here as the Kraken starts to come out. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of responses they have for it, but it might not be the time to see it because they've just been taken out by the Kraken and won by the stamp on the side of Sheer Cold.
And Sheer Cold is already in, taking control as far up as they can. The Crab Tank should be able to stop things a bit. Yes, splatting the player on the tower. We'll get back on it with the 96, and right now it's just the heavy that's up for Inkblot Dropout, Nito.
Right, and they're going to be cruising straight into the third checkpoint. There's about 29 remaining. There is a Kraken coming out yet again. It saw two players on the left side, and it takes both players out on the left side. It's all up to the machine to try to make some work happen for him, make something happen, but it might be too little, too late. Sheer Cold takes Game 3, is going to sweep Game 1.
Sheer Cold with a triple KO, they are making a statement, and that Kraken has done so much for them. If you can get the aggressive play and get 2 picks from it, the Kraken is so strong.
And you can't help but notice Sheer Cold isolating some of the players from Inkblot Dropouts. Once they notice them making mistakes, isolating themselves, they're able to take 2v1s. You notice Twig on the tower backing up Albedo using the Splatana Wiper, and I love watching coordination like that. Sometimes it's not all in the specials. You'll notice people communicating. Maybe in VC, you'll see them say, "There's one on me. Someone help me." There's a 96 gal. Bang bang boom, clean it up, and we move on. That's a great job from Sheer Cold.
Yeah, great job, and we will see more of Swimmer Sync in round 2.
Exactly. We've got another exciting matchup heading in for y'all. Stay tuned. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back.